This is the Baseball Observer. Special report. The men who must carry October. A report by Ernie B. Wells. The players who will shape Act 3 of the 1981 Action Baseball League season. A pennant race is never only about standings. Standings tell us where a team sits. Players tell us whether that seat is sturdy. The first Act 3 article laid out the league's central question. Can the ABC get off the schneid? That remains the conference story. The NBC has owned the big stage. The All-Star Game just reminded everyone of it. And the ABC has spent too many years promising an answer. It is not fully delivered. But now we come to the men. Because October does not get carried by abbreviations. It is carried by bats in the middle of the order, arms in the front of the rotation, closers with no room to breathe, and players who wake up in July knowing that the next 2 months may define how they are remembered. So if Act 3 is the road to the Grand Tournament of Champions, these are some of the men who must carry it. Manny Flores is not just Charlotte's star. He is Charlotte's statement. The Charlotte Colonels have the cleanest team profile in the NBC, 54-35, a strong lead in the NBC Eastern Division, and a plus 85 run differential. But if you want to know why Charlotte feels different this year, start with Manny Flores. Flores is not merely having a good year. He is sitting atop the league's hitter board with a 4.0 WAR, along with 18 home runs, 60 RBI, and a 954 OPS. That is a centerpiece line. That is the kind of first-half performance that turns a team from nice story into problem. Charlotte's longer story is already known. First playoff appearance last year, lost to Chicago in 6. Now trying to complete the climb, Flores gives that climb a face. He is 24 years old, left-handed bat, left-handed thrower, born in Athens, Georgia. Good eye, real gap strength, useful power, the kind of player who does not look like an ornament in the contenders' lineup. He looks like the reason the lineup breathes. And the Colonels are not simply Flores and hope. Roberto Yamana, Jose Hernandez, and Tony Barnes give Charlotte 3 arms with real second-half weight. Yamana has been worth 2.8 WAR with a 2.78 ERA. Hernandez has 113 strikeouts and 2.99 ERA. Barnes owns a 2.75 ERA. That is why Charlotte scares people. It has a star, it has arms, and it has scar tissue of last October. Now it wants an ending. Las Vegas has a front-runner's record, and Bobby Rodriguez gives it a spine. If the ABC is going to answer the NBC, the Las Vegas Gamblers may be the loudest candidate. The Gamblers are 52-37, leading the ABC Western Division with a plus 49 run differential. They are not hanging around. They are carrying expectation. But for all the talk of the Gamblers' return to relevance, the player who may define the second half is Bobby Rodriguez. Rodriguez has been one of the best pitchers in the league. 3.9 WAR, 2.75 ERA, 114 strikeouts, and 131 innings of frontline work. That is not a supporting detail. That is a reason to believe. Las Vegas can hit enough, it can win enough, it can look good enough in July. But if this thing becomes an October argument, someone has to take the baseball and turn possibility into authority. Rodriguez is that man. And there is the back end. Derek Sanders leads the league with 25 saves, carrying a 1.40 ERA. That matters. A contender without late-inning conviction is a house with no lock on the door. The Gamblers waited years to matter again. Last year put them back in the picture. This year asks whether they can hold the frame. Rodriguez may be the man who determines whether Las Vegas is merely back or truly dangerous. Houston's strength has a mound under it. Some teams announce themselves with thunder. Houston feels more like pressure. The Mavericks are 52-37, leading the ABC Central. They have balance, but their second half case starts with pitching. Scott Zell, Nate Higgins, Eskel Peterson, Zell has put together a serious first half. 3.5 WAR, 148 1/3 innings, 2.97 ERA, and 111 strikeouts. Higgins has been even cleaner by run prevention. 2.31 ERA, 0.90 WHIP, 151 2/3 innings pitched, and 110 strikeouts. Peterson gives the group another quality arm with a 2.30 ERA. That is a rotation with a spine. That is the kind of thing that travels. Houston's top hitter by WAR is Felix Alvarez. With a 3.2 WAR, though his offensive line does not scream at you. Warren Ufina, and Apostolos Giorgio give the lineup more visible thump and balance. But Houston's identity feels clear enough. The Mavericks are built to make games uncomfortable. That matters in Act 3. In the second half, noisy teams get attention. Teams with pitching get survival. If the ABC is going to get off the schneid, Houston may be the club best built to grind its way into the answer. They are the last ABC team to win a title. Miguel Collado is carrying San Francisco's argument. The San Francisco Warriors lead the NBC Western Division at 48-41, but the lead is not large enough to be comfortable. Phoenix is close, Los Angeles is close. The region is very much alive. That means San Francisco needs more than a standings position. It needs a force. That force is Miguel Collado. Collado owns 3.8 WAR, 9 home runs, 59 RBI, a 912 OPS, and a hitter's profile that fits a club trying to hold off traffic. He is only 23 years old, and yet he is already sitting near the top of the league's most valuable bats. San Francisco also has Bobby Jackson. who brings real power, 16 home runs, 51 RBI, and a 935 OPS. On the mound, Antonio Pineda has been the most important arm. With 3.1 WAR, 139 and a third innings, a 3.17 ERA, and 106 strikeouts. That is the Warriors' second half pad. Collado in the middle of the story, Jackson giving the lineup weight, Pineda giving the rotation shape. The question is whether that is enough to separate from Phoenix and Los Angeles. San Francisco leads the division. Collado is the reason you believe the lead can hold. Chicago still waits for its ending. The Chicago Fire are not the cleanest team in the NBC. They are third in the NBC Central at 46 and 43, behind Dallas and Detroit. But Chicago has history pulling on it. 5 playoff appearances, no title. That is the kind of sentence that follows a franchise around. This year's Fire have enough player substance to remain dangerous. Roberto Jimenez has been the pitching anchor, 3.1 WAR, 157 and 2/3 innings pitched, 127 strikeouts. He has taken the ball and carried bulk, and in a pennant race, that matters almost as much as brilliance. On the offensive side, Alex O'Donnell has given Chicago a strong all-around year with 2.8 WAR, while Sal Gomez has driven in 61 runs and provided the lineup muscle. Miguel Martinez adds another useful bat, giving the Fire enough to make a second-half push feel reasonable. But Chicago's question is not merely whether it can reach October. Chicago has reached October before. The question is whether the group can finally make October obey. Jimenez can carry innings, Gomez can carry runs, O'Donnell can carry balance. But can Chicago carry history? That is the burden. Detroit has the crown, but not much room. The Detroit Dukes are the defending champion. That means every slump looks larger, every series feels heavier, every challenger measures itself against them. At 48 and 41, one game behind Dallas in the NBC Central, and sitting first in the NBC wildcard line, Detroit is still right in the fight. But this is not a runaway defense. This is a grind. The Dukes player picture is not as loud as Charlotte's or Las Vegas's, but theirs is enough structure. Alex Escobedo leads the hitters with 2.4 WAR. Sergio Ornelas and Ben Benton have contributed. On the mound, Martin Martinez, Mike Miranda, and ace Brett Helvey all sit around the same valuable range, giving Detroit a broad base rather than one towering ace. That might be enough. Defending champions do not always need to dominate the middle of the season. Sometimes they need to stay close, stay intact, and remember who they are when the tournament begins. Detroit's task is simple and hard. Find the second half gear before somebody else takes the crown off their head. Orlando Greeley keeps Los Angeles alive. The Los Angeles Cobras are flawed. Their run differential is negative. They are third in the NBC Western Division. They are close enough to matter, not clean enough to trust. Then you look at Orlando Greeley, and you understand why they cannot be dismissed. Greeley has been one of the league's best hitters, 3.5 WAR, 17 home runs, 64 RBI, and a 956 OPS. That is not a complimentary player. That is a man who can change a series. Los Angeles also has DJ Rivera. And Miles Bird providing support. While Jerry Romero has punched out 135 hitters, second on the strikeout board, but the story begins with Greeley. A team like the Cobras needs a star to bend the math. They do not have the profile of a complete monster. They have the profile of a club that needs its best player to make the second half feel bigger than the first. That is Greeley's burden. If Los Angeles is going to become more than a dangerous name on the wild card sheet, he must carry the bat. Cincinnati record says chase, but Reese says don't dismiss them. The Cincinnati Cougars are 6 games behind Houston in the ABC Central, and yet their plus 45 run differential is better than Houston's. That is the kind of thing that makes a standings man pause. Cincinnati may be underachieving. It may be unlucky. It may be flawed in ways that numbers do not fully explain. But it is not empty. And then there is Scott Reese. Reese is 35 now. That matters. At 35, the game does not give you forever. But he is still producing 2.9 WAR, 12 home runs, 57 RBI, and an 805 OPS. He is not a decorative veteran. He is still a central piece of a club with October possibilities. The Cougars also have Esteban Martinez, who brings a strong 881 OPS, and veteran Victor Torres. On the mound, Alex Perez has given them 2.9 WAR, 144 innings, and 109 strikeouts. Cincinnati is a dangerous second-half team because the standings say one thing and the underlying shape says another. If the Cougars wake up, they can complicate the ABC. If Reese gets hot, they can do more than complicate it. They can scare it. Seattle's question is whether its players can make the math hold. The Seattle Comets are one of the most interesting teams in the league because the standings and the run differential do not quite agree. Seattle is 49-40, leading the ABC wildcard field, only 3 games behind Las Vegas in the ABC West. But the Comets' run differential is only +2. That does not disqualify them. It does put them under examination. The player who gives the Comets their cleanest argument is Alex Batista. 3.3 WAR, 7 home runs, 41 RBI, and an .877 OPS. He is only 23, and he gives Seattle a legitimate face for the chase. David Ogwin adds speed and strength. Doo-Hun Yu gives the lineup another useful bat. On the mound, Ricardo Sanchez has been the top arm by WAR with 2.8, while Tony Miller and Jaheim Bryant help round out the picture. Bryant's 1.80 ERA is eye-catching, even if the innings are more limited. Seattle does not need to apologize for winning close, but the close winners always face the same question. Can you keep doing it when the league starts squeezing? That is Seattle's second half examination. Philadelphia's drought may need an arm, not a parade. The Philadelphia Fury are the only ABL franchise that has never made the playoffs. That sentence should be printed in bold and hung over every series they play in Act 3. Philadelphia is 42-47, 3 games behind Boston in the ABC East. That is not a strong position, but the division has left the door open. If the Fury are going to walk through it, the path may run through the rotation more than the lineup. Roberto Hernandez has been Philadelphia's most important pitcher. 2.6 WAR, 143 2/3 innings, 3.19 ERA, and a 1.16 WHIP. Behind him, Mike Stanley and Gilberto Flores have provided innings and competence. The lineup has useful pieces. Jesus Ganoa, Rich Pena, and Ron Stout. But Philadelphia's playoff drought will not end on sentiment. It will end because enough men perform under the weight of knowing what the franchise has never done. That is why Hernandez matters. The Fury do not need poetry. They need outs. Boston leads, but the players must make the lead mean something. The Boston Patriots lead the ABC East at 45-44. That alone gives them standing, but the team profile is not intimidating. A first-place club barely over 500 is not a monster. It is an invitation. Boston's player group is solid, not overwhelming. Danny Salas leads the hitters with 2.6 WAR, 10 home runs, and an .824 OPS. Maynard Bell has added 12 home runs and 46 RBI. Jesse Gonzalez gives them another useful bat. On the mound, Mike Randolph has been the cleanest arm. 2.3 WAR, 2.64 ERA, and a steady profile. George Galvez and Miguel Velasquez round out the upper part of the pitching picture. Boston's question is not whether it has players. It has players. The question is whether it has enough. Because Philadelphia and New York do not need to become great. They only need Boston to remain ordinary. New York is searching for a post-shoulders identity. The New York Aces are not in command. They are 41-48, 4 games behind Boston, but the ABC East is soft enough that New York still has room to write a second-half paragraph. The player who gives them the cleanest spark is Jonathan Mestis. Mestis has 3.0 WAR, 8 home runs, 34 RBI, and 33 stolen bases. That is an active player, a moving player, a player who can create stress in more than one way. Raul Juarez provides more offensive punch. And Tim Wheeldon adds support. But the larger New York question is not just statistical. The Aces are in life after Mike's shoulders. That means every win, every slide, every surge carries a shadow behind it. New York needs players to define the new era. Mestis may be the first answer. The league leaders outside the main road still matter. Nate Smeltz of Tampa Bay leads the league in OPS at .977 and has produced 17 home runs, 62 RBI, and 3.8 WAR. Jordan Santisteban of Atlanta has 18 homers, 64 RBI, and 3.7 WAR. Jeremy Campbell of Portland leads the league with 24 home runs. He is the home run leader for career. Those clubs may not be central to the championship map, but their stars still matter. They will decide games against contenders. They will ruin weekends. They will tilt races from the outside. That is the underrated truth of Act 3. The pennant race is not played only by the teams in it. It is also played by the teams trying to spoil it. The arms that change the room. The second half race often belongs to hitters in the headlines, but October is usually negotiated by pitchers. Jose Coronado of St. Louis leads the league in pitching WAR at 4.0 and strikeouts with 151. The Stallions are not one of the 16 Central teams we are watching most closely, but Coronado is too good to ignore. Bobby Rodriguez gives Las Vegas its strongest ABC case. Scott Zell and Nate Higgins make Houston feel durable. Antonio Pineda helped San Francisco hold the West. Roberto Jimenez gives Chicago bulk and fight. Jose Contreras and Stephen Grimes make Phoenix a threat even when its offense does not overwhelm. And in the late innings, Derek Sanders stands at the top with 25 saves. While Eric Bahan of Miami has 23, and a whole cluster of closers sits near 20. That is where races often turn, not in the clean opening argument, but in the 8th and 9th inning, when everybody in the park knows the season is leaning. EB's bottom line. The first article told us the shape of Act 3. This one tells us who has to carry it. Charlotte needs Manny Flores to keep turning promise into authority. Las Vegas needs Bobby Rodriguez to give the ABC a true ace-back answer. Houston needs Zell and Higgins to keep tightening the screws. San Francisco needs Miguel Collado to make a division lead feel real. Los Angeles needs Orlando Greeley to bend the standings. Cincinnati needs Scott Reese to turn unfinished business into a late charge. Seattle needs Alex Batista to make the thin margin record hold. Philadelphia needs Roberto Hernandez and enough courage to end the league's last playoff drought. The standings have spoken. Now the men have to answer. Act 3 is not carried by conferences. It is not carried by logo. It is not carried by history alone. It is carried by the players who step into July, August, and September and decide whether their season is going to be remembered or merely recorded. The next video you see will be baseball.